80 years ago, on August 9, 1945, a weapon of unimaginable power cast an atomic shadow over the city of Nagasaki, Japan. It was the second time in 3 days that such a weapon had been used, and its detonation would not only end the deadliest war in human history, but also thrust the world into the anxieties of a new nuclear age. By the summer of 1945, World War II was in its final, brutal stage. Germany had surrendered, but in the Pacific, the Japanese Empire fought on. The Allied forces were bracing for a massive invasion of the Japanese mainland, codenamed Operation Downfall. Military planners anticipated staggering casualties, potentially hundreds of thousands of American lives and millions of Japanese. The battles for islands like Iwo Jima and Okinawa had shown the fierce, desperate resistance that awaited them. Against this backdrop, a top-secret American program, the Manhattan Project, had succeeded in creating the atomic bomb. After the first successful test in the New Mexico desert, President Harry S. Truman's advisors concluded that using the bomb against Japan was the only way to force an unconditional surrender and avoid the catastrophic loss of life from a full-scale invasion. On July 26th, the Allies issued the Potsdam Declaration, demanding Japan's surrender and warning of prompt and utter destruction. When the ultimatum was ignored, the stage was set. After Hiroshima was bombed on August 6th, the second mission was planned for August 9th. The primary target was Kokura, a city with one of Japan's largest ordnance factories. Nagasaki, a key port city with major military industries, was the backup. In the early morning, a B-29 superfortress named Box-Car, piloted by Major Charles Sweeney, took off from the island of Tinian. In its bomb bay was Fat Man, a plutonium implosion-type bomb, even more powerful than the little boy dropped on Hiroshima. The mission was troubled from the start. A faulty fuel pump reduced their available flight time. When Box-Car arrived over Kokura, the city was hidden by thick smoke and haze. After 3 failed bombing runs, and with fuel running dangerously low, Sweeney made the fateful decision to divert to the secondary target, Nagasaki. As they approached Nagasaki, it too was covered by clouds. With only enough fuel for one pass, the bombardier, Captain Kermit Behan, spotted a last-second break in the clouds. At 11:02 a.m., from an altitude of about 1,650 feet, Fat Man was released. The bomb detonated directly over the Urakami Valley, the industrial heart of the city and home to a large Catholic community. The explosion was equivalent to 21 kilotons of TNT, generating a fireball with ground temperatures reaching an estimated 4,000 degrees Celsius. Everything within a mile of the hypocenter was incinerated. The subsequent blast wave leveled buildings and tore the city apart. While Nagasaki's hilly terrain offered some protection to outlying areas, the destruction in the valley was absolute. The primary targets, the Mitsubishi arms factories, were devastated. Of the city's 52,000 homes, 14,000 were destroyed instantly, and another 400 were severely damaged. The human cost was horrific. By the end of 1945, it's estimated that between 60,000 and 80,000 people had died. Roughly half of those deaths occurred on the first day, from the blast, the heat, and the fires. Soon after, a sinister black rain began to fall, carrying radioactive fallout that contaminated a wide area, leading to more death and suffering in the days and weeks to come. For those who survived the initial blast, a new ordeal began: radiation sickness. This invisible poison caused hair loss, bleeding gums, and a host of other debilitating conditions. The survivors became known as hibakusha, which translates to bomb-affected people. They would carry the physical and psychological scars for the rest of their lives. Long-term health studies revealed a significantly higher risk of cancers, including leukemia, thyroid, and lung cancer. Pregnant women exposed to the radiation saw higher rates of miscarriage, and their children were more likely to suffer from intellectual disabilities. The psychological trauma was equally devastating. Many hibakusha experienced what was later termed atomic bomb numbness syndrome, a form of PTSD. They were haunted by nightmares and a profound survivor's guilt. On top of this, they faced social stigma. Widespread fear and misinformation led many to believe that radiation sickness was contagious or that survivors would have genetically defective children. This made it difficult for Hibakusha to find work or to marry. One survivor, Kikuyo Nakamura, was told by a doctor that her own breastfeeding had caused her son's leukemia, a devastating falsehood that illustrates the immense guilt and suffering they endured. The bombing of Nagasaki, combined with the Soviet Union's declaration of war on Japan, finally broke the stalemate. On August 15th, Emperor Hirohito announced Japan's surrender, officially ending World War II. But the end of one war marked the beginning of a new, colder one. The nuclear age had begun. The United States' atomic monopoly lasted only until 1949, when the Soviet Union tested its own bomb. This kicked off a terrifying nuclear arms race. For the next 4 decades, the world lived under the shadow of mutually assured destruction, as the two superpowers built up arsenals capable of destroying civilization many times over. In response, the international community created the Treaty on the Non-Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons, or NPT, in 1968. It aimed to prevent the spread of nuclear weapons, promote disarmament, and allow for the peaceful use of nuclear energy. While the treaty has largely succeeded in preventing new states from acquiring weapons, the goal of complete disarmament remains elusive. 80 years later, Nagasaki is a vibrant, modern city, but the memory of August 9th is woven into its very soul. It has become a global center for peace advocacy. At the heart of this is the Nagasaki Peace Park. There, the iconic peace statue stands 10 meters tall. Its right hand points to the sky, warning of the threat from above, while its extended left hand symbolizes eternal peace. Nearby, the Nagasaki Atomic Bomb Museum offers an unflinching look at the devastation, displaying artifacts like a mangled water tower and the personal belongings of victims. Every year on August 9th at exactly 11:02 a.m., a peace bell rings out across the city and a moment of silence is observed. The mayor delivers a peace declaration, a message to the world, calling for the abolition of all nuclear weapons. Today, the world is still grappling with the legacy of the bomb. 9 countries possess nuclear weapons, and global tensions serve as a constant reminder of how fragile peace can be. The Hibakusha, the survivors of Nagasaki, are now in their final years. Their numbers are dwindling, but their message remains more urgent than ever: no more Nagasaki's. Their stories of suffering, survival, and tireless advocacy are a profound gift to humanity. As we mark this 80th anniversary, we have a solemn responsibility to hear their call and to continue the unfinished journey toward a world where the atomic shadow has been banished forever.